YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, back in Total War Warhammer, where I'm going to be playing as Bretonnia. I decided to take a very risky, but fun army. So I noticed the map had a ton of woods to deploy in, some at the very back of the battlefield, so I picked 6 units of these horrible mounted yeomen, whatever they are. So I picked 6 of them. They're awful, and but I was like, you know what, why not? And let's just have some fun. I was playing against the Empire. The Empire can field some tough armies. I brought a pretty good flying goon squad because it's expected. So I brought the goon squad, which is 2 paladins and 2 Pegasus knights. And these guys are basically, I want to capture the attention of the Empire player with this goon squad. I want him focused on killing them, and he needs to be. I've got like a token infantry force, which is just, I believe, 5 spears. Yeah, 5 spears, and then I've got 2 peasant bowmen. So very, very weak army by all considerations. Now my opponent brings 2 steam tanks, and that's a very odd choice against Bretonnia, but it's also kind of an interesting choice. It gives him artillery to shoot at cavalry, but steam tanks really aren't very good against cavalry. They're okay versus pretty light units. What they will be good at is terrifying nearby units. And since I have mostly peasants, I mean, the steam tank would be worthwhile in that respect because it could terrify them off the field. He's got several units of crossbows, which I, agree with that pick. He's got several units of flagellants. It's actually also not a bad pick versus Bretonnia because you don't really want armor or armor piercing versus Bretonnia. You just want high damage, and the flagellants provide that. He's got some cheap spears with shields of his own here in the front line. Not sure why he chose the one with shields. Maybe just because I would have them. So my opponent, like I said, he pulls up. He's over here. I'm kind of flying my goon squad out to his flank to, again, try and keep the attention of his steam tanks. And they are firing at me. They're not doing anything, really, though. I mean, they could land a hit on my Pegasus Knights, but my other units, I'm going to be relatively safe from them. All the while, my force of... yes, kill the soldiers. Kill the soldiers. Who else were we going to kill? I don't know who else is on the battlefield. Kill the commentator! Oh, no, please don't. So in any case, yeah, my opponent approaches me, and he makes some weird moves here. He gets a couple of his spears. I say it's weird. It looks like he's lining up his spears expecting a straight-up charge from my flying death squad. That's when I reveal my infantry. This forces him to charge forward, and I wanted to kind of break up his formation, but unfortunately for me, he leaves all of his spears here in the background to fight off my flying death squad. So we're trading, his crossbows are firing up at my men, my bowmen are destroying his flagellants. These guys don't break though, they're unbreakable, so it's good to kill as many of them as you can with missiles. At the same time, I'm about to spring my vanguard trap, and then my flying goon squad's coming in. He had a light wizard, so I expected this. He's going to net a bunch of my guys. I should have split up to make it to where his net could only pin 1 unit, so that was a mistake. I'm going to kind of like pin down the tank and some of his archers over here for just a second. I'm not planning on staying in this combat for terribly long. But basically I've got a paladin free and I've got some Pegasus Knights free. He brings some shields over, or some spears. The spears won't do all that much. You can see here the fight against his flagellants is going just fine for me because his guys... I have a charge defense against all, even the spearmen do. So that's something Bretonnia has. So at this point I spring my trap here. The steam tank opens up on me. I'm basically trying to single out his archers. He's got spears back here, and I'm going to swing some cavalry this way and some cavalry this way, and then my flying cavalry is coming in to attack his archers as well, because I need his spearmen to blob up. And as his spearmen and other units blob up, I'll run some charges. You can see here I try to charge just a very weak unit of flagellants, and they don't even do very good at that. These cavalry are bad, and they're being terrified by the steam tank. So you can see here I actually have my unit routed due to terror. But again, my opponent's kind of trying to face different directions at once, so I go ahead and attack from multiple directions at once. Fortunately for me, Leon Kerr also has a terrifying effect on nearby units. And I go straight for the Empire Captain. Probably should have gone after the Light Wizard, to be quite honest. But yeah, anyway, I'm going after the Empire... Well, I say the Empire Captain, sorry, the General of the Empire. I get him confused with the Captain a lot. He frequently gets demoted under my commentary. Yeah, this is what I wanted. So I got his crossbows split up. So now I'm going to destroy his crossbows. His steam tanks are firing away at my flying units. He's probably targeting Leon Kerr, which is good for me because he can replenish his hit points. and there's other units helping to shield Leonkur in the middle of this fight. But yeah, his General of the Empire is taking a pretty good shellacking. My 2 paladins are in here. Most of the spears are getting shellacked too, and as my cavalry comes back from being scared by the tank, I'm making quick charges into the backs of engaged Empire troops, and it's fairly effective because his troops are also pretty lightweight. Yeah, I mean, my army was pretty spongy here because the Vanguard deploy mounted yeoman cavalry are pretty bad. My death squad is the only killing power I have, and then my infantry was really more or less a distraction. I have units that came back from routing too that I haven't realized, and I don't for quite some time, so I apologize for that. I was really focused in on killing the main Empire units here, this being his Empire, his General of the Empire, who's now under the effects of a healing potion. So he's got foolhardiness and the potion of toughness, which was very smart by him because it's going to allow his guy to heal. My own paladins are in good shape. Leonkur is taking quite a bit of damage from the steam tanks over time. I almost feel like, I don't know if he should have come into melee over here with the tanks or not, but I almost feel like it couldn't have hurt him. I've got this tank. I'm trying to tie it down with a couple of spears. These flagellants are tied down. My bows are free, and then again, my cavalry regroup Pegasus. All this other stuff's going to hunt down his fleeing units. The light wizard's gone. The crossbows are getting caught by my cavalry over here. His Empire captain, got it right this time, is bogged down with some of my my cavalry, which he doesn't need to be. I got Leonkur free, and I'm going to go over here and single out the Empire captain. The General of the Empire, I'm just going to gang up on him with my 2 paladins, who are going to be more than enough to deal with him. And since both of them have a healing potion, the the General of the Empire here has used his, and he doesn't have a chance. So he's going to get annihilated in this fight. So yeah, a couple of paladins ganging up on heroes. It's actually really effective. Really effective. I want to say that I used my healing potion. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and engage the potion of toughness there. Get my paladins back in the air, and I'm going to use them to start focusing down the steam tank. They have decent armor piercing. The tank does okay damage, but it's not spectacular. If you use the tank against a lord who is on foot, you can knock them around and do a lot of damage, but a unit that's mounted and considered large, the tank won't have near as good of an effect in melee. And you can see I'm using my archers and my paladins to just kind of focus down one tank at a time. It just won't be able to get the damage done. So I got rid of the key units in his army, the light wizard, the General of the Empire captain, got them all split up, and now Leonkur and his 2 lackey paladins here can finish off the tank with relative ease because of their heavy armor-piercing attacks. So I'll be in good shape. So yeah, you can see the tank here dropping pretty quickly. They look pretty cool when they die too. Let's watch that. The tank here is close to destruction. I think it's actually going right now. Hold on, here it comes. No, there it goes. See how the tank blows up? Kind of burns down. The animation was a bit glitchy there, but the explosion looks cool. Anyway, now I just got to focus on the other tank. It's the only thing left. The tanks were so much of the power bar that when that one died, the remnants of his army just took off running. His General of the Empire had come back, but then routed also. The tank is pretty amazing in terms of leadership. It's not easy to break if you can break it at all. So it'll stay in the battle. Look, I just send in all my guys. Basically, here come the Pegasus Knights, Leonkur, Paladins, more Pegasus Knights that I finally realized should have been in this fight all along. So I'm going to hit the tank with everything I got. So yeah, I'm not sure a tank is the greatest pick versus Bretonnia. I mean, I think about the different units that Bretonnia could field, and I'm not sure I'm a big fan of it. I want to try something just real quick out of curiosity though. So let's take the tank. I don't have my mod turned on where I can do this properly, but just out of curiosity, if I pick the Empire, and I'm gonna take a General of the Empire, and he doesn't need any abilities or anything. I'm not gonna use him. If I take a steam tank, heck, I'll even take 2 steam tanks. I just want to get a demonstration in. I'm gonna pick Bretonnia here, and just out of a curiosity, I'm gonna just put a Lord here on foot. I'm not gonna give him any abilities because I don't want it to sway it too much. Yes, he has decent hitting power, I understand, but without my mod turned on, this is all I can do. I'm just kind of curious, like if I mean, it'd be pretty common to see a bunch of pole arms, and if they were to bog down a tank, that's kind of what I'm curious to test here. Let's just see what happens if they were to bog it down. .Kraz. I think this is a good place to test. that should work. Okay. I want to see if the Terrify on the tank works very good, if there's a Lord around. I mean, if the Lord wasn't around, like say he was off chasing your own Lord and you had these tanks, it's possible you might be able to rout all the goofy Bretonnian peasants. Though cavalry is pretty decent at slowing down these tanks. I don't think the tanks are going to be too good at stopping. I'm just going to attack the halberds head on and see how quickly they're able to do damage to the tank, or if they're able to do damage to the tank. They have armor piercing, that's why I'm running this test mainly. The thing is, though, is I think that if the Empire player did this right, they might be able to just kind of break through your lines repeatedly, but maybe not. I mean, you can see the leadership on the guys goes down really quick, but my tanks also start to take some pretty fair damage. Yeah, I mean, it looks like the halberds are causing some pretty fair damage there. I mean, I'm getting decent damage done with tanks, and there is the fear effect. You can see it terrified away some of their units. They come back fairly quick. So, I mean, I think Bretonnia has quite a few different capabilities to bog down a steam tank, and that's kind of what I'm trying to prove here. I don't know that a steam tank is a great pick versus Bretonnia because of this. I mean, they can get quite a few kills, but it's just against trashy, cheap infantry. Could I have kept my tank moving in a real battle scenario? Yes. And you could probably do more damage with it then, just doing like hit and run missions and firing. Obviously, you wouldn't want to just leave it in combat like that. So yeah, I get that. So I know it's not like a real fair test. I just kind of wanted to see how quick the halberds could damage them. And then if I look at one more scenario real quick, like let's say, I mean, it'd be pretty common for you to come up against units of Knights of the Realm. Let's just do that one real quick, and see what happens if the Knights of the Realm get a hold of your tank. How does the tank do? Can it fight them? Can it not fight them? So this is just another curiosity test for me. I mean, obviously you saw that Paladins, in concert with Leon Kerr, are going to be pretty effective. Really effective, actually. Just go for it. I'll try and keep the Bretonnian Lord busy with my own Lord. Let's just go straight into the cavalry. That's what I would prefer here. I just want to see what happens if you go head-to-head with cavalry. I don't think it's probably going to end well for the tank, but it might. It might. We'll see. Look at that. The Lord's running away. He just goes after my tank. So yeah, it's going to sway the fight a little bit. Let's pull away from there with my Lord so he doesn't do damage to their cavalry. There we go. Just keep these two fighting there. Let's run away with my Lord so it doesn't impact the Bretonnian player there. It actually looks like the tanks do pretty good versus a single Knight of the Realm. So, it's not a bad performance. See, this is what happens with you're on foot. You see how he got knocked around by the steam tank? So yeah, if you bring a Lord on foot, the tank can ram you like that and then just keep moving and shooting you with the steam gun. Except for my tank won't run. There it goes. So yeah, I mean that's why an infantry Lord is not going to do all that great versus a tank, and this is why the dwarfs can sometimes get in trouble with the tank. Now of course they have thunders, but yeah, so I don't know. I just don't see the tank being a great pick versus Bretonnia, just because you're likely to come up against a couple of Paladins. Do y'all think I'm wrong? I mean, what do you like to pick? You know, out of a curiosity test here too, and again, I know I don't have the right mod turned on to do this proper, but let's let Bretonnia bring their polearms again, and let's see how some flagellants do against the polearms. Just out of curiosity, because my opponent picked them. They're a little bit cheaper than the polearms. We got enough to have kind of a big fight here. Let's check this out, just to see. And I know these tests, like I said, they're not conclusive. They're not meant to be. This is just me being curious now after this fight, because my opponent picked these units against me, and I'm curious whether, you know, I was just able to get the better of them, whether it was a bad pick. And then hopefully you're learning something here too. I mean, honestly, I don't think Bretonnia is better than the Empire, but I feel pretty confident using Bretonnia versus the Empire because I know I can shut down their air game, and I feel like a lot of people struggle to deal with aerial assaults. Some players know how to beat them, and they absolutely can, but I feel like a lot of players struggle versus them. Okay, Bretonnia did not brace its polearms, so that's actually going to make a big difference in this fight. So let's see what happens. But yeah, they should have braced their polearms, but it's the AI, so what can we expect? And I have them set to attack. So yeah, this won't be perfectly representative. They could have undone the 27 charge bonus that my flagellants had. But you can see they're still holding up decent in a fight. They're not just getting hammered by the flagellants. If we take a look, let's fast forward and see what happens. And then you have to remember that flagellants too are going to be very flimsy to cavalry and very vulnerable to missiles. And I'm honestly just not seeing a great performance out of them here. And this isn't a good case scenario too, where the Bretonnian countercharges me. I mean, to me it looks like the pole arms are just straight up winning. At first the flagellants were winning because of the charge. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like they were a great pick either. They'd be okay versus spearmen, but against the pole arms they're going to be pretty poor, it looks like. But then with the charge defense against large, even the spearmen will do okay. For a while, at least. Yes, I mean, the flagellants get heavily defeated there. So, interesting. Interesting indeed. Hope y'all enjoyed this. Another Bretonnia battle. I'll be bringing you more. I want to appreciate all my subscribers, viewers, those of you who like to comment, discuss, like. Sorry I didn't get back to all the comments today. I may try and respond to some tonight. You'll know if I did, because you'll see a response. But yeah, I really appreciate you all watching. I'm enjoying recording this for you, and I can't wait to be doing more of these videos for you. HeirofCarthage signing out for now, and I will see you all soon.